Ken Boyer from Garage Gurus Heavy Duty. I'm here today to talk about caging a brake chamber. And the reason why you'd want to cage a brake chamber might be to replace it, might be to do other brake work, or perhaps you even need to move a vehicle or a trailer and the brakes are set because you don't have access to air, therefore you can't move the vehicle until you release the brakes. So basically that's what we're going to do. We're just going to talk about the ability to be able to release the brakes. So the first thing I want to do is to remove the caging bolt that's here on a kind of a storage pocket on the side of the brake chamber. Now this bolt has tabs on it, and these tabs need to be inserted into the brake chamber. I'm going to pull the weather seal off, and you need to insert this bolt inside the chamber into the end of the center shaft until it comes contact, and then you can lock it in. In order to show this a little bit better, I've got a cutaway here, and I'll remove the weather plug here. Here's where this bolt is going into. You're basically inserting it into the slot, and you're turning it about half a turn. And then you can pull it about a half an inch out, and it's locked in. So that's how you want to insert it into the chamber. So I'm going to come back over here to the brake chamber. I'm going to insert it in. Now what you need to make sure you do is you need to use the washer, because if you don't use the washer and you just run the nut down, as you can see from the size of the hole in the nut, it'll pull that nut right through the chamber housing. So you need to make sure you always use a washer. I'm going to go ahead and thread it on. I'm going to thread the nut up. Everything's tight. The next thing you want to use is a special socket. Now you can use a box end wrench, but the socket is 5 inches long, it's 5 inches deep, and it's made for caging a brake chamber, because as we cage it, this bolt's going to come out. So basically, I'm going to run this bolt all the way in, and it may take a little bit to do so. And I'm going to run it in until it stops. Now you don't want to use an air wrench doing this. You need to do it by hand. So as you're collapsing the spring, you're going to feel it get tighter and tighter, and there it comes to a stop. So I know that I've got the spring completely collapsed. That's why you want to use and do this by hand with a socket rather than an air wrench, so you don't pull it in too far and collapse the chamber. But obviously you want to use the long socket, because as we pull that center shaft through, you need some place for the stud to go. So now the chamber is caged, the spring is collapsed, and it's now safe to remove the chamber, do any other brake work that you need to do, or just basically move the vehicle if you have to. It's now safe to do so.
Now if you don't cage that brake and you take this band off underneath that trailer, you're dead. Alright? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Just you take this band off here, that spring is going to come out with this cap right here, and it's going to be like getting hit with a freaking howitzer round. It's going to take your head off. It will kill you.
Failures similar to this spring brake end cover separation have occurred hundreds of times in Canada in the past 2 years. To demonstrate the energy contained by the assembly, we will remove the Wagner designed cover and simulate a failure by overpressurizing the spring brake.